All right, welcome back, everyone, for our third deep dive.
Oh, I'm excited for this one.
Me too.
Yeah.
This time, we're going to be cracking open a classic,
Ooh, a classic.
Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People.
I love that book.
It's a good one.
Yes.
And specifically, we're going to be looking at some excerpts of it in Spanish.
Wow, Spanish. So this book really has had a global impact, huh?
Right. I mean, this book has been helping people connect for ages.
For ages. It's fascinating how relevant it remains even today.
Right. What is it about this book that just speaks to people decade after decade?
I think it really speaks to some core human desires, right?
Okay.
To be understood, to make a difference, to have those meaningful connections with people.
Yeah. I think you hit the nail on the head there.
Yeah.
I think those are things that everyone wants.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's interesting because I've heard that this book isn't just some fluffy, feel-good stuff.
No.
It's packed with insights that can actually change how you approach relationships.
It can be life-changing for sure.
I'm ready to have my mind blown.
Let's do it.
All right. So get this. Carnegie kicks things off with this study from the 1930s.
Oh, wow. Back in the day.
Back in the day, the University of Chicago and the YMCA, they teamed up. Make adults. What matters most to you?
That's a good question.
Big question, right?
Yeah. What do you think is the most important thing?
Well, you would think health would be at the top of the list.
Makes sense. We all want to be healthy.
Of course, got to be healthy. But you know what came in at a close second?
What's that?
The desire to get along with others and to be understood.
Wow.
So it wasn't just, Carnegie pulling this out of thin air. He had research backing up this fundamental human need for connection.
That is so interesting.
Isn't it?
Like, think about it.
Yeah.
When we feel misunderstood, we get frustrated.
Yes.
When our relationships aren't going well, we get upset.
We get upset. It throws us off.
It's like this.
Universal struggle.
It is a universal struggle.
And Carnegie, he dives right into that struggle.
Right into it.
He quotes this big shot Harvard psychologist, William James.
Oh, William James, the OG.
And William James said that we're basically only using a fraction of our potential.
Right.
Especially when it comes to human relations.
Especially human relations. We're half awake, walking around.
So we have these hidden social superpowers.
Superpowers, exactly.
That we just don't know how to use.
We're not tapping into.
Okay, so how do we tap into these superpowers?
Well, that's where Carnegie comes in. He gives us the keys.
Okay.
And he's really big on active learning.
Active learning.
So reading the book once, that's not enough.
Not enough.
No. He wants you to reread it, apply the ideas.
Really make them a habit.
Make it a habit. Like, think about it.
Yeah.
How often do you learn something cool and then...
All the time.
Poof, it's gone.
Gone. My brain is like a leaky bucket.
A leaky bucket. Exactly. So Carnegie's like, make this a game. Challenge yourself.
Okay.
To catch yourself criticizing instead of empathizing. And maybe even put some money on the line with a friend.
Oh, I like that.
Make it more fun.
That's fun, yeah.
Yeah, because speaking of criticizing, that's a big one that he calls us out on.
What does he say about criticizing?
He says it's way easier to criticize than to empathize.
Oh, that's so true, isn't it?
Oh, it's so true.
It's just easier to
It's so much easier.
Oof, that person's doing this wrong.
Yes, point the finger.
Yeah.
Judge.
But to actually put ourselves in the other person's shoes, that takes work.
It takes work. It takes effort. And, he points out it's especially relevant now with social media.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. We're quick to judge, quick to fire off opinions without really taking the time to see where the other person's coming from.
Without getting the whole picture.
The whole picture, exactly.
And sometimes there's more to it than meets the eye.
Absolutely. There's always more to the story.
But Carnegie's reminding us that to really connect with people, to influence them.
Right.
It's not about
winning the argument. No.
It's about understanding the other person.
Understanding them.
And to kind of illustrate this point,
Yeah.
he uses some pretty wild stories in this book.
He does.
Can you tell us a bit about Two Gun Crowley?
Oh, Two Gun Crowley.
I think he was a gangster, right?
Yeah, this guy was a notorious criminal.
A notorious criminal.
But even while he was hiding from the cops,
Oh, wow.
Crowley wrote this letter.
Really?
Yeah, claiming that he was actually a good guy at heart.
What?
It just shows you.
So he's justifying his actions.
Justifying it.
Yeah.
Like, even a hardened criminal needs to believe that they're good.
Right. Even if their actions are saying something totally different.
Totally different. It's fascinating.
So what's the lesson here for us regular folks?
I mean, I'm no gangster.
Me neither.
But I can see how that self-deception, right? That need to justify ourselves can creep into everyday arguments.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, think about it. When you're in a disagreement with someone,
Yeah.
are you truly trying to understand their perspective?
That's a good question.
Or are you just laser focused on proving yourself right?
Ooh. I don't know if I like that question.
It's a tough one.
Yeah, food for thought.
Food for thought. We all have that Crowley-esque tendency, right?
Yeah.
To want to see ourselves as the good guy,
Absolutely.
even if we're maybe not acting that way.
Okay, so that's a good point to kind of
Yeah.
check ourselves.
Check ourselves before we wreck ourselves, right?
Basically.
And Carnegie doesn't stop there. He goes on to talk about this insatiable human thirst for appreciation.
Ah, we all want to feel appreciated, right?
Didn't he quote William James again on this one?
I think he did.
Yeah, James called it the deepest principle of human nature.
Wow, that's powerful.
It is powerful, and Carnegie uses these intense anecdotes, even one about a woman struggling with mental illness, to show how this craving for appreciation can drive extreme behavior.
So this need to feel appreciated, it's a deep-seated.
It is deep down.
Yeah.
It's powerful.
Okay, so if we can tap into that need in others,
Yes.
then we can build stronger relationships.
Absolutely, you got it.
Okay.
And he illustrates this with the story of Charles Schwab.
Charles Schwab, wasn't he a big-time businessman?
Huge, super successful.
Yeah.
And you want to know what his secret was?
I'm all ears.
Okay, he was earning $1 million salary.
Back then.
Back when that was unheard of.
Wow, $1 million back then. That's like
A
gazillion dollars today.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And you want to know how he did it?
How?
He attributed his success to inspiring enthusiasm in his people.
Oh, interesting. So not like cracking the whip?
No.
Yeah.
He was all about lifting people up
Yeah.
through praise and encouragement.
Instead of just pointing out what people were doing wrong?
Right, exactly.
He focused on the good stuff?
He focused on the good stuff.
That's kind of counterintuitive.
It is counterintuitive because we think, oh, to get people to work hard, you got to be tough. But he found that the opposite was true.
So he found that by praising people,
Yes.
that actually motivated them to do better.
Absolutely. He believed that criticism crushes ambition, but genuine appreciation unlocks people's potential.
I think we've all had those bosses, right?
Oh, yeah.
Who are always just pointing out what you're doing wrong.
Always focused on the negative.
Yeah. It makes you feel bad.
It does.
It makes you kind of shut down.
It does.
But when you have a boss who focuses on the positive,
Right.
who celebrates the good stuff.
It makes you want to work harder.
It does.
Doesn't it?
Yeah?
And it makes you feel good about yourself.
It does.
And that leads to better work, better relationships, everything.
It's like a ripple effect.
It is.
And Carnegie gives all these examples, like Jim Farley.
Oh, yeah, Jim Farley.
He was a politician, right?
Yeah, a politician who was a master at remembering names and sending personalized letters.
Wow.
He made thousands of people feel important and valued, which ultimately helped him gain influence and build relationships.
It's amazing how such a simple act as remembering someone's name can have such a big impact.
Right.
Because we all crave that feeling of being seen, being acknowledged.
Yeah, it makes us feel special.
It does.
And it all comes back to that core principle, right?
Yeah.
Making others feel important.
That seems to be the golden thread that runs through all of his advice.
It really is that golden thread.
Okay.
It's fundamental to human connection.
And speaking of making people feel important, there's that anecdote about the homeowner who had the drainage problem with their neighbor.
Oh, yes. Tell me about that one.
Instead of arguing about it, getting all upset.
Right, because that could lead to a big fight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They actually found a way to appeal to the neighbor's sense of fairness and fond memories.
Oh, clever.
Right? I think it was something like the neighbor used to play in that area when they were a kid.
No.
So they appealed to that emotional connection that they had.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, and I think they even brought up some kind of fairness issue.
Right.
I don't remember exactly what it was.
That it worked.
But they found a win-win solution.
Yeah, by tapping into that emotional connection and that sense of fairness.
It's like that fable that Carnegie shares about the sun and the wind competing to make the traveler take off their coat.
Oh, I love that story.
The wind is huffing and puffing.
Blowing, trying to force the coat off.
But the harder the wind blows,
Yeah.
the more the traveler just clutches that coat.
It clutches it tighter.
But then the sun comes out
Right.
and just gently warms the traveler.
Quilt warms them up.
And the traveler's like, oh, it's getting kind of warm now.
Yeah. Takes the coat right off.
And takes off their coat.
Exactly. Warmth and understanding win the day.
So it's not about force.
No.
It's about warmth and understanding.
It's about being the sun, not the wind.
I like that. Be the sun.
Be the sun, exactly.
And then Carnegie goes on to talk about this Socratic method.
Ah, yes, the master of getting people to say yes, yes.
So basically, you're using questions
Yeah,
to guide people to your way of thinking
exactly, without them even realizing it.
without them even realizing it.
I mean, that's the genius of it.
Sounds sneaky.
It's subtle, but it's not about being manipulative.
Okay.
It's about finding common ground
Right.
and leading someone to your conclusion through a series of agreeable points.
Okay. So how would you actually do that in a real conversation?
Well, it takes practice. You have to really listen to the other person, understand their perspective,
Okay.
find that common ground to build from.
So it's about asking the right questions
Asking the right questions,
to
exactly.
lead them to that,
Yeah, to gently guide them to the conclusion you're hoping for.
and not by just telling them what to think.
No, by making them feel like they're part of the process.
Like they're coming to that conclusion on their own.
Exactly. It's like collaborative problem solving,
Not a debate.
not a debate.
Okay, I like that.
Right.
Much better.
And I bet that anecdote about the textile salesman who lost his voice perfectly illustrates this point.
Oh, tell me about that one. I think I remember that story.
Oh, this guy, he was a salesman, and he lost his voice right before a big meeting with a potential client.
Oh, no.
I know, talk about bad timing.
What did he do?
Well, he couldn't really talk, so he just let the client do all the talking.
Wow.
And you know what?
What happened?
He ended up winning a huge contract
No.
just by listening.
That's incredible.
It shows you the power of shutting up and listening sometimes.
Yeah.
And Carnegie's point is we need to understand what the other person wants
Okay.
and then frame our arguments accordingly.
So it's not just about coming in with your own agenda.
No.
It's about understanding the other person's needs.
Exactly. Figure out what they want and show them how you can help them get it.
I'm starting to see how all these pieces fit together.
They all connect.
It's like a puzzle.
It is a puzzle.
And Carnegie's giving us all the pieces.
He's giving us the tools, the strategies, the mindset.
Okay. So far, we've been talking about this power of understanding.
Yeah.
But Carnegie also talks about dramatization, right?
Oh, yes, dramatization. He loved that.
Presenting ideas in a way that really captures people's attention
Yes, making it memorable.
and sticks with them.
Exactly. It's not just about dry facts and figures.
It's about storytelling.
Storytelling, visuals, emotions.
Like that dad who used his kid's toy train
Well, that's a good one.
to get his kid to eat his vegetables.
I love that story.
It's pure genius, right?
It's brilliant. So creative.
Yeah, instead of just being like, eat your vegetables,
Right. Nag, nag, nag.
he turned it into a game.
A fun adventure.
Yeah, and the kid's like, oh, this is cool.
I want to play.
Yeah.
And they're eating their vegetables without even realizing it.
So it's about engaging people's imagination.
Absolutely. Making it fun, making it memorable.
And Carnegie was a big believer in that.
He was all about it.
And speaking of engaging people's emotions, one of the most powerful tools in Carnegie's arsenal is the magic of praise and encouragement.
Oh, yes. The magic of praise.
I love that.
It's powerful.
And he shares these inspiring stories
Mm.
about Enrico Caruso and Charles Dickens
Oh, those are great stories.
to highlight how sincere praise can shape people's destinies.
It's amazing how a few words of encouragement can change the course of someone's life.
Okay, I'm all ears.
All right, so let's start with Caruso, the world-famous opera singer.
Enrico Caruso, yeah.
The legend, but can you believe it? Initially, he was told that he couldn't sing.
What?
Yeah, his teacher said his voice sounded terrible.
Oh, man, that's harsh.
Harsh, right?
But he became one of the greatest opera singers of all time.
He did, and it was all thanks to his mother.
Oh, wow.
She was a poor peasant woman, but she never stopped believing in him.
That's so sweet. The power of a mother's love.
I know, right? Her unwavering support and encouragement helped him develop his incredible talent.
That's beautiful.
It shows the power of believing in someone even when others doubt them.
And sometimes that belief is all it takes.
It can make all the difference.
Yeah.
And then there's Charles Dickens.
Oh, Charles Dickens, one of my favorite authors.
He's a classic, but his life wasn't always easy.
Really?
No, he had a really tough childhood. His father was imprisoned for debt,
Oh, wow.
and young Charles had to work long hours in a horrible factory.
That's awful.
Yeah, it was rough, and he was so insecure about his writing.
Really.
Yeah, he didn't think he was any good.
But this guy produced some of the greatest works of literature.
I know, it's incredible, but here's the thing. A newspaper editor saw his potential and praised his work. And that simple act of encouragement ignited his passion and helped him become one of the greatest novelists of all time.
Wow, that's amazing.
It is. It shows you how powerful words can be.
Yeah, sometimes just a little bit of encouragement is all it takes.
Yeah. Sometimes that's all it takes to spark that fire within someone,
Yeah.
to help them blossom.
And those stories about Caruso and Dickens,
Yeah.
they really drive home this point
Yes.
that our words and actions can have a profound impact on other people.
They really can.
And we might not even realize it.
Right. We might not see the full extent of our impact.
So it's a call to be mindful of our words,
Absolutely.
to be encouraging,
Yeah, to lift people up.
and to believe in people.
And to believe in their potential.
Because you never know how that might change their life.
You never know whose life you might touch.
And it reminds me of that anecdote about the dance student who was motivated by a teacher who focused on her natural rhythm instead of her mistakes.
Oh, yeah. What a great teacher.
Right. Instead of pointing out what she was doing wrong,
Yeah.
the teacher was like, you have this natural rhythm.
You got this.
Yeah, let's focus on that.
Exactly. Focus on the strengths.
And that motivated her to do better.
Absolutely. Carnegie's all about making faults seem easy to correct. He believes in focusing on someone's strengths and potential, not constantly reminding them of their shortcomings.
It's about giving them a reputation to live up to.
Yes, exactly. Like if you treat someone like they already have the qualities you admire, they're more likely to strive to embody those traits.
It's like you're planting a seed and helping it grow.
Exactly. By expressing your belief in someone's abilities, you create a positive expectation that can influence their behavior and help them reach their full potential.
It's like you're giving them permission to shine.
You are. You're giving them that space to blossom.
That's so powerful.
It is. It's about nurturing growth, not just pointing out flaws.
And he illustrates this with the story of how Colonel House convinced William Jennings Bryan, a prominent politician, to accept a diplomatic mission.
Oh, tell me about that one.
I think Bryan was hesitant at first,
Yeah, he wasn't so sure about it.
but Colonel House was like this master of persuasion.
He knew how to get people on board.
He was smooth.
Yeah, he was smooth.
And he basically framed the mission as something that only someone of Bryan's stature and influence could handle.
Oh, smart.
Right, so he appealed to his desire to be important.
He tapped into that need for significance.
And it worked.
It worked like a charm.
Bryan accepted the mission.
He did. He felt valued, he felt needed, and he rose to the occasion.
So it's like understanding someone's motivations can be this powerful tool of influence.
It is. It's about knowing what makes people tick.
And speaking of delicate situations, Carnegie also emphasizes the importance of saving face. Right?
Oh, yes, saving face, it's crucial.
Like that story about how General Electric removed Charles Steinmetz from a leadership role.
Yeah, I remember that one. It was a tricky situation.
Right, he was brilliant,
A genius.
but not a great leader,
Not so much.
but they didn't want to hurt his pride.
No, they wanted to handle it with care.
So what do?
Well, they got creative. They created a new, more prestigious title for him,
Okay.
essentially giving him a promotion for the same work.
Wow, that's clever.
It is, right.
So they made him feel good,
They made him feel valued and respected.
while also addressing the company's need for more effective leadership.
Exactly, a win-win solution.
That's a brilliant way to navigate a potentially messy situation.
It is. It shows you that you can achieve your goals while still treating people with respect and consideration.
Carnegie really is all about those win-win solutions,
He is. He wants everyone to walk away feeling good.
where everyone feels heard
Heard and valued.
and respected.
Absolutely.
This has been such an insightful deep dive into Carnegie's work.
It's been a blast.
I'm already feeling inspired
Me too.
to apply some of these principles in my own life.
I'm ready to go out there and be the sun.
Be the sun. Spread that warmth and understanding.
Exactly. Make everyone feel important.
All right. Well, on that note, I think we should probably wrap up this first part.
Sounds good.
We'll be back soon with part 2, where we'll continue our exploration of Carnegie's timeless wisdom.
Can't wait. I'm excited to dive back in.
Awesome.
See you then.
All right, see you.
And, you know, one of the things I really appreciate about Carnegie is that he doesn't just tell you what to do. He gives you those concrete steps.
Right, he gives you like the techniques.
Yeah, like actionable stuff,
Yeah.
you know?
I like that.
This whole idea of radiating a sincere desire to be agreeable.
Okay, so it's not about being fake.
No,
It's about
it's about genuinely wanting to connect.
really wanting to connect.
Yeah, approaching interactions with a positive attitude and just a genuine interest in the other person.
Like when you meet someone who you can just tell they're really interested
Yes,
in what you have to say.
you feel it, right?
It makes such a difference.
It makes you feel good. Like
Yeah.
you're the only person in the room.
Exactly.
And they're totally present.
And I feel like those people, they just light up a room.
They do. They have that magnetic energy.
because they genuinely enjoy connecting with others.
Yes, exactly.
And Carnegie, I bet he has some tips on how to cultivate that,
He does.
that kind of charisma.
And they're surprisingly simple.
Okay, what are they?
Things like smiling, remembering names, truly listening when someone is speaking, really listening, not just waiting for your turn to talk.
Right. Actually absorbing what they're saying.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
He even tells this story about how he once complimented a postal worker on his hair.
Really?
Yeah, and it sparked this delightful conversation.
It's those little things, right?
It is the little things that make a big difference.
Yeah, a simple compliment
A genuine compliment.
can go a long way.
It can brighten someone's day.
Yeah, and speaking of making people feel good, Carnegie was a huge advocate for the power of enthusiasm.
Oh, yes. Enthusiasm.
You know, that contagious energy.
Yes, that energy that draws people in.
Like when someone's talking about something they're really passionate about,
You can't help but be interested.
you want to know more.
You want to be part of it.
And Carnegie, he uses the example of this magician named Howard Thurston.
Oh, Howard Thurston. Yeah, he was a big deal back in the day.
And Thurston said that the reason he was successful
Yeah.
wasn't just because he was good at magic,
Right, there was more to it.
but because he genuinely loved his audience.
He loved performing.
And he was passionate about what he did.
Yes, it was that passion that shone through.
It's that spark that makes all the difference.
It's that authenticity.
Yeah, and that applies to anything you do in life.
Oh, absolutely.
Whether you're talking to a client,
Yeah.
whether you're talking to your grandma,
Your grandma, your kid.
that enthusiasm will make people
It's contagious.
want to be around you.
People want to be around positive, enthusiastic people.
Okay, so we've talked about enthusiasm,
Yes.
but you know what really kills enthusiasm?
What's that?
Arguments.
Oh, arguments. Yeah.
And Carnegie argues that 9 times out of 10,
9 times out of 10.
an argument just ends with each person even more convinced that they're right.
Yeah, no one really wins an argument.
No one wins.
You just end up with hurt feelings and damaged relationships.
It's a lose-lose situation.
It is.
But Carnegie, he's got some advice for how to navigate disagreements.
Oh, he does. He's got a whole toolkit.
Okay, give us the tools.
All right, so first of all, stay calm.
Stay calm. Don't let your emotions get the best of you.
Exactly. Take a deep breath.
Okay, what else?
Respect the other person's opinion, even if you don't agree with it.
Okay, so you don't have to agree.
No, you don't have to agree, but you have to acknowledge that they have a right to their perspective.
Okay, I can do that.
And then look for common ground. Is there anything you can agree on?
Right, find that point of connection.
Exactly. And here's a big one. Admit fault quickly if you're wrong.
Wait, really?
Yeah, surrender in the face of conflict.
That's so counterintuitive.
It is, right. Our instinct is to defend ourselves, but that just escalates things.
Right, it just makes things worse.
Exactly, but Carnegie's saying sometimes the fastest way to resolve a conflict is to acknowledge your part in it.
So it's about putting the relationship
Yes,
above being right.
absolutely. Sometimes you have to choose.
Okay, that's a tough one.
It is. It's a mind shift.
But I can see how it would be effective.
And even when you are tackling tough topics, Carnegie says, start friendly.
Start friendly, okay.
Yeah, coming in hot with criticism just puts people on the defensive.
You catch more flies with honey than with vinegar.
Exactly. Carnegie believed that a friendly, approachable demeanor can work wonders in disarming resistance and opening up a real dialogue.
So it's not about being all
Yeah.
aggressive and confrontational.
No. Come in with warmth. Come in with understanding.
Okay, got it.
And he takes this honey analogy even further.
Really?
He suggests literally using a drop of honey when delivering criticism.
Okay, tell me more about this drop of honey technique.
All right, so it's basically starting with genuine praise before addressing the issue.
Okay.
So let's say you need to talk to an employee about their tardiness.
Okay.
Instead of jumping right to a reprimand,
Yeah.
you might acknowledge their contributions to the team and then gently point out how their recent lateness has been impacting things.
So it's like you're softening the blow.
Softening the blow, exactly. You're acknowledging their strengths
Okay.
and then addressing the issue in a constructive way.
It's like, hey, you're doing great here, but just this one thing.
Exactly. It's about balance.
Okay, I like that.
It preserves the person's dignity, makes them more open to hearing what you have to say.
And it's about focusing on the behavior, not the person.
Yes, that's key.
So instead of saying, you're always late,
Yeah,
you might say, I've noticed you've been arriving late to meetings recently.
exactly. Be specific.
Okay.
Focus on the facts.
And I feel like when you use you language,
Yeah.
it puts people on the defensive.
It does. It feels like an attack.
But when you're more specific,
It's less personal.
It feels more objective
Exactly.
and less like a personal attack.
It's about addressing the behavior, not attacking the person.
Okay.
And all of this loops back to Carnegie's big idea, right?
Yeah.
Make the other person feel important.
Make them feel important. That's the golden rule.
It is. And he uses stories like how President Franklin D. Roosevelt went out of his way to compliment the mechanic who customized his car.
Really?
Yeah. Roosevelt was known for his charm and his ability to connect with people from all walks of life.
Okay, but a president, he's got a whole team of people
Oh, I'm sure he did.
whose job it is to make him look good.
Yeah, but this wasn't just a PR stunt.
Okay.
Roosevelt genuinely admired the work that this mechanic had done.
So he wasn't just being fake.
No, he was sincere.
Okay.
He took the time to look at every detail of the car.
Wow.
He even told his secretary to take special care of the mechanic's luggage.
That's going above and beyond.
It is. It's a reminder that anyone, even the most powerful person in the world,
Yeah.
can benefit from showing genuine appreciation.
So it's not about your title.
Yeah.
It's not about your status.
It's about being human
It's about treating people with respect.
and making them feel valued.
Okay.
And Carnegie says this applies everywhere, business deals, family life, you name it.
Yeah.
Everywhere, human connection is key.
And he even suggests that sometimes you can get what you want
Yeah.
by appealing to people's nobler motives.
Oh, that's interesting.
Okay, what does that mean?
Well, think about it. Most people want to be seen as good, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So instead of focusing on what's in it for me, try framing your request in a way that appeals to their sense of fairness,
Okay.
generosity, or desire to help.
So you're tapping into their better angels.
Exactly.
Okay.
He uses the example of John D. Rockefeller Jr.
John D. Rockefeller, wasn't he like one of the richest men in the world?
Yeah, super wealthy, but also a philanthropist, a good guy.
Okay.
And he wanted to keep the paparazzi away from his kids.
I can understand that.
Yeah, the constant attention, not good for young children.
Right.
So instead of threatening legal action...
Which I'm sure he could have done.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
He appealed to their compassion.
Oh, wow.
He said, look, all this attention, it's not good for the kids. Have a heart.
And it worked.
It worked.
So it's about finding that common ground,
Yeah.
that shared value.
And appealing to people's better nature.
Okay, I like that.
And that leads us to one of Carnegie's most powerful techniques.
Ooh, what's that?
Asking questions instead of giving orders.
Oh, I like that. That feels less
It's more collaborative.
confrontational,
Less bossy.
and it's more empowering.
Empowering, exactly.
Okay.
So let's say you're a manager, you need someone to work late.
Okay.
Instead of barking, you need to stay.
Yeah, you need to do this.
Right, try this. We're up against a deadline. Would you be able to stay late to help us get this done?
It's giving them a choice.
It is. It's giving them a sense of agency.
It's like, we need your help.
Exactly.
Can you be a team player?
And people are more likely to respond positively when they feel like they have a choice.
Okay.
And it goes hand in hand with letting the other person save face.
Saving face. We talked about that earlier.
Yeah, remember that story about General Electric moving Charles Steinmetz out of a leadership position? They did it in a way that preserved his dignity and made him feel valued.
Right. They didn't want to humiliate him,
No, they wanted him to feel good.
even though they were basically demoting him.
Yeah, they found a way to make it a win for everyone.
So it's about finding solutions
Creative solutions
where everyone feels good.
where everyone walks away feeling good about themselves.
Okay. I like that.
And Carnegie's big on praising even the smallest improvements.
So you don't have to wait for someone to achieve some massive goal.
No, celebrate the little wins.
Celebrate the small steps.
Yes, because those small steps lead to big victories.
It's about progress, not perfection,
Exactly. And we all need that encouragement to keep us going.
because we're all a work in progress.
We are.
And it ties into that idea of giving people a reputation to live up to.
Yes, if you treat someone like they already have the qualities you admire, they're more likely to strive to embody those traits.
It's like you're setting a high bar
Yes,
and you're saying, I believe you can reach it.
exactly. You're expressing your confidence in them.
Okay.
And that can be incredibly motivating.
It's like you're planting a seed and helping it grow.
Precisely. By expressing your belief in someone's abilities, you create a positive expectation that can influence their behavior and help them reach their full potential.
That's a great way to think about it.
It's about nurturing potential, not just pointing out flaws.
Okay.
It's about believing in people.
And helping them believe in themselves.
Absolutely.
These principles are so simple,
They are,
yet so profound.
but they're not always easy to put into practice.
No, it takes effort.
It takes conscious effort,
Yeah.
but it's worth it.
Because I'm starting to see how they can apply to all areas of life.
All areas, work, relationships, personal growth,
Everything.
everything. It's about becoming a better human.
And that's what's so amazing about Carnegie's work.
Yes.
It's not just about winning.
It's not about manipulation.
It's not about getting what you want.
No, it's about building stronger, more authentic relationships, communicating more effectively, navigating life with more empathy and understanding,
So it's about becoming a better person.
and creating a better world.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the positive side of things.
Yeah, all the good stuff.
But let's be real.
Let's get real.
We all encounter difficult people.
Oh, yes, we do.
People who just,
Push our buttons.
yeah, they rub us the wrong way.
They drive us crazy.
What does Carnegie say about dealing with those people?
Well, he acknowledges that some people are just harder to deal with than others.
Oh, that's true.
But he encourages us to approach them with empathy,
Empathy, even when it's hard.
especially when it's hard.
Okay.
Recognizing that even the most difficult individuals
Yeah.
are often driven by their own insecurities and unmet needs.
So it's about trying to understand where they're coming from.
Exactly.
See the world through their eyes.
Yes, walk a mile in their shoes.
Even if you don't agree with them.
Even if their behavior is frustrating,
Okay.
try to see the human behind the behavior.
He even suggests having sympathy for those who are difficult,
He does.
recognizing that we all have our own struggles
We all have our baggage.
and could easily be in their position.
We could easily be the difficult one.
Yeah, that's humbling.
It is. It's a reminder that we're all human.
We're all flawed.
We all make mistakes.
And sometimes those flaws
Yes.
manifest in ways that make us difficult to be around.
It happens.
It's a call for compassion,
Compassion and understanding.
even when it's hard.
Especially when it's hard.
And he also emphasizes the importance of avoiding direct confrontations with difficult people.
Oh, that's good advice.
Yeah, sometimes it's just better to
Walk away
walk away.
or redirect their energy.
Okay.
Appeal to their better nature.
So instead of trying to win a battle,
Yeah.
you're looking for ways to win the war.
Exactly. Find a way to achieve your goals
Yeah.
while also preserving the relationship.
Because sometimes you can't change people.
You can't.
You can't force them to see things your way.
No, but you can choose how you respond. And
Yeah.
sometimes the best response is to disengage.
To just let it go.
Exactly.
Know when to hold them.
Know when to fold them.
Right.
Choose your battles wisely.
In Carnegie, he gives us a whole range of strategies to try.
He does. He's got a strategy for every situation.
From using humor to diffuse tension.
Humor is a great tool.
Yeah, laughter can be the best medicine.
It can.
To finding ways to make that difficult person feel important.
Oh, yeah, that can work wonders.
Because sometimes people are difficult because they feel
Insecure.
invisible.
Unvalued.
So if you can make them feel important,
Seen.
yeah, you can change their whole demeanor.
It can shift the dynamic.
This deep dive has been so eye-opening.
It's been a journey.
I feel like I've gained so many valuable insights.
Me too. Carnegie's wisdom is timeless.
And he doesn't just focus on the interpersonal stuff.
Right. He goes beyond just relationships.
He even talks about the importance of how we present our ideas,
Oh, yes. Presentation is key.
like how we communicate our message.
He believed that a well-told story,
Okay.
a striking image, or a dramatic demonstration,
Could be way more persuasive
far more persuasive.
than a dry lecture or a list of facts.
People remember stories, they connect with emotions.
It's about capturing people's imaginations.
Yes, making an emotional connection.
Like that dad who turned mealtime into a toy train adventure
Oh, that's a
to
classic.
get his kid to eat his vegetables.
Pure genius.
Right.
So creative.
It's about finding those creative ways
Yeah,
to make your message stand out.
and resonate on a deeper level.
And Carnegie was also a big believer in the power of sincerity.
Oh, yes, sincerity.
Like people can sense when you're being genuine,
They can smell a fake a mile away.
and they're far more likely to be persuaded by someone they believe is authentic and trustworthy.
It's about walking the walk.
Not just talking the talk.
Exactly. Be true to yourself.
Be genuine.
And people will respond to that.
Okay, and before you can truly influence anyone,
Yeah.
Carnegie says you need to understand their perspective,
Absolutely. Put yourself in their shoes.
their motivation,
Yeah.
their fear.
Their desires.
So it's about stepping outside of your own head
Get out of your own bubble.
and trying to see the world through their eyes.
And ask yourself, what would it be like to be this person?
Okay.
What are they hoping to achieve?
What they afraid of?
What makes them tick?
Like that story Carnegie tells about how he avoided a speeding ticket
Oh, tell me about that one.
by appealing to the officer's sense of fairness and understanding.
Okay, so he's speeding,
He's speeding,
gets pulled over.
but instead of arguing with the officer
Yeah.
or trying to defend himself,
Right.
he admits that he was wrong.
He owns up to it.
He acknowledges the officer's authority,
Shows respect.
and he even points out a potential danger that his speeding might have caused.
Oh, smart.
Like, hey, I could have hurt someone,
Right. He appeals to the officer's sense of responsibility.
and the officer let him go.
No to
It's another example of how sometimes the best way to win is to surrender.
surrender your ego.
Yeah.
Appeal to the other person's better nature.
And it all goes back to Carnegie's central point.
What's that?
The key to influencing people is to make them feel important.
Make them feel important. That's the golden rule.
And he gives us so many ways to do that.
He does. He's like a walking encyclopedia of human connection.
From remembering names,
Yeah.
expressing appreciation,
Showing gratitude.
to finding ways to make people feel like they're part of the solution.
Collaboration is key.
He argued that everyone, regardless of their position or status, craves to feel valued and respected.
It's a basic human need.
And by tapping into that need,
Yes.
we can unlock incredible potential
In our relationships.
in our work.
In our lives.
This has been such an incredible deep dive into Carnegie's work.
I've learned so much.
Me too. I feel like I've got a whole new toolkit for navigating life.
It's like a masterclass in human connection.
And it's amazing how a book written decades ago
Yeah, back in the 1930s.
can still be so relevant
Timeless wisdom.
and insightful today.
Human nature hasn't changed that much.
It really makes you wonder, knowing what we now know about human nature and the power of connection,
Yeah.
how can we use this knowledge
To make the world a better place.
to create a more positive and harmonious world?
That's the big question.
That's what it's all about,
It's about using these tools for good
to lift each other up.
to create a more compassionate and understanding world.
And Carnegie, he gives us the blueprint.
He gives us the roadmap.
Now it's up to us to put it into action.
Let's go out there and make a difference.
Yeah, it's inspiring to think about how we can use this knowledge to make the world a better place.
It really is. And it's not always about these big, dramatic gestures, right?
Right.
It's often those small, everyday interactions that have the biggest impact.
Totally. Like, think about taking the time to really listen to a coworker who's having a tough day,
Yeah.
or offering a genuine compliment,
Right. A simple act of kindness.
or even just remembering someone's birthday.
Those little things can make a huge difference in how people feel.
Yeah, they really can.
They create this ripple effect of positivity.
It's like each interaction, no matter how brief,
Yeah.
is an opportunity to brighten someone's day.
It is. You can choose to be that little spark of joy in someone's life.
And Carnegie, he has all these stories about this.
Oh, he does. He loves a good anecdote.
Like the one about the busy executive who made it a point to greet the elevator operator by name every morning.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Right? Just a simple, "Good morning, Bob."
Yeah, turned a mundane routine into a genuine connection.
And I bet that made the elevator operator's day.
Oh, I'm sure it did. It made him feel seen,
Yeah, like he mattered.
Exactly.
And it's a reminder that you don't need grand gestures.
No.
Just a little bit of
It's
mindfulness
a little effort.
and effort can make a difference.
Yeah.
And Carnegie was a big believer in genuine interest as the foundation of any strong connection.
Oh, yeah, that genuine interest, that curiosity. Yeah, it's magnetic. And he even has tips on becoming a better listener.
Okay, I'm all ears.
Things like asking thoughtful questions.
Right, not just those surface level questions.
Yeah, dig a little deeper.
Huh?
Focusing on what the other person is saying, not just waiting for your turn to talk.
Right, really being present in the conversation.
Exactly. And resisting the urge to interrupt.
Oh, that's a tough one.
It is. We all do it.
But when someone lets you finish your thought,
Yeah.
it makes you feel respected.
It does. It makes you feel heard.
And that's a powerful gift.
It is. To truly listen to someone, to make them feel understood.
That's something we can all work on, right?
Absolutely. It's a lifelong practice.
And it applies to any relationship.
Family, friends, colleagues, even strangers.
Yeah, like that person you meet in line at the coffee shop.
Exactly. Everyone has a story.
And by listening with an open heart,
Yeah.
we can learn and grow from each other.
It's amazing what you can learn when you truly listen.
And that leads us to something else that Carnegie talks about. Forgiveness.
Forgiveness. That's a big one.
We all mess up sometimes.
We all do. We're human.
And holding on to anger and resentment.
Yeah. That just hurts us in the long run.
It does. It's like carrying around all this heavy baggage.
It weighs you down.
It poisons your heart.
And it prevents you from moving on.
With forgiveness, it's tough.
It is, especially when you've been hurt.
But Carnegie says it's ultimately an act of self-care.
It is. You're freeing yourself from that negativity,
It's about choosing compassion,
over judgment.
understanding over anger.
And it's a process. It takes time,
Yeah, it's not always easy
but it's worth it.
because those choices, they lead to more peaceful relationships.
And a more peaceful heart.
This deep dive has been such a rewarding experience.
It's been a joy to explore these ideas with you.
Carnegie's principles are so timeless,
They really are.
and I feel like I've gained some really valuable tools for navigating life
Me too. I'm feeling inspired,
more intentionally
with more purpose.
and with more heart.
Carnegie's message is all about connecting with our hearts.
All right, so as we wrap up this final part,
Yeah.
what's one final thought we can leave our listeners with?
How about this? Knowing what you now know about the power of appreciation, encouragement, and understanding, what small but meaningful change can you make in your interactions tomorrow to create a more positive experience for yourself and those around you?
That's a fantastic challenge. It's a reminder that we all have the power to make a difference, even in those seemingly small, everyday moments.
Each interaction is an opportunity
An opportunity to create something beautiful,
to spread a little kindness,
to make the world a better place.
one conversation at a time.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the wisdom of Dale Carnegie.
It's been an honor to share these ideas with you.
We'll see you next time for another exploration of ideas that matter.
Until then, keep spreading that sunshine.
Keep being awesome.